Let's talk about the Goldust character. This is from Dustin's book. He said that Vince told him, I've got this character I want to run by you. His name is Goldust. And Bruce kind of filled in the blanks. They said Goldust was an androgynous character. Dustin said, I knew what that meant, even though they never said or even implied that Goldust was gay. To this day, they have never used that word in reference to Goldust. They just called him a bizarre androgynous character. When they finished, I thought, oh my God, what is this? After the call, I thought about the whole idea and realized that Goldust could be the way for me to step out of my father's shoes and forever move myself out from under his shadow. This was a chance to do something on my own, and I knew it was going to make him angry all over again. That fact pushed me towards Goldust even more because we weren't in a good place, and I really didn't give a damn at that point. I just love hearing Dustin's thinking about this character and the reason he's running towards it. But I am curious from your perspective, what'd you think of using the word androgynous in a wrestling program? Like, it's hard for me to imagine how that word would have ever come up otherwise without the Goldust character.
Well, it gave a lot of fans a reason to open a book called The Dictionary.
Oh, the thesaurus and all that. Yeah.
Thesaurus, all those research materials.
Yeah.
I thought it was a high road. And if you just check on the definition, then you get it. So, that's how that worked. I just thought we were taking a high road in that thing on a character that was very controversial.
It's fascinating to take a look at this character because, it's really unlike anything that had ever happened in the WWF ever before. And Vince was seemingly trying to push the envelope. This is also in a down period in the company. I think everybody listening knows this, but 95 things are down real bad to the point they're taking the water coolers out of the buildings. I mean, it's lean and mean here. And
I took a very significant pay decrease.
Yeah.
Took about 5 minutes. Can't afford it. I'll let you go. Give you a chance to do something else. That's what you want to do. But I'll never forget the conversations. Vince said, but if you stick with me and you're loyal, you'll find out at the end of the day, it'll all be worth your while. He was right. And he checked every box. And I made more money working for Vince than I had ever made in my long career up to that point. So I don't know. I just think that Dustin was meant to play this character. I can't imagine anybody else on the roster that could have taken his place and been better at it. So that was a good picture right there. Again, on YouTube, Vince sitting there with Goldust. You see McMahon thinking.
Yep.
He's got that evil glare in his eyes, like I'm going to stir the pot here in a second. But Dustin did a great job representing Goldust.
Yes.
Because we didn't know how Goldust was supposed to act. And I don't know that Dustin did. He played with it. And he made the character his own. And that's what you always strive for talents to do. Make your character you. The more it's like you, the better chance that you have of being successful.
It's crazy to think too, that Vince could take a look at the real life Dustin Rhodes and say, boy, I've got this perfect character for you. I mean, Dustin at that point had always been a baby face in his career. We're going to switch him to heel. Dustin had never worn face paint or bodysuits or robes or wigs or lipstick. I mean, just way, way, way over the top. But what a presentation. It worked. And this is the era before everybody's getting these huge guaranteed money contracts. Jim, let's talk a little bit about, when we're up and running with this Goldust character. Dustin would write, I did a few things that didn't really work well. I was frustrated. And finally, one night it felt it clicked. I was working with Savio Vega, and I owe a big deal to Savio for helping me get this character over because he really kicked it into gear for me. He said, go behind me and start to rub up and down my chest. I was really against that and didn't want to do it, but I thought, what the hell, let's try it. So I tried it. It worked. And the people came unglued, pissed off, angry, saying, what the hell's wrong with you? Just horrible stuff. But then I was like, damn, this is fun. This is awesome. I got this. From that point, it was so easy that Vince McMahon had to tell me to tone it back a bit. Man, I love hearing about guys sort of eureka moments in their career. And this was one for Dustin here. What'd you think when he started to really get comfortable with this character, Jim?
Well, he discovered how to take ownership.
Yes.
And to make that character his own. And that's, as I said, ad nauseum, that's crucial. Talents have to invest into their own persona. They got to suggest things. Because once you get in the ring and you're on your own. I mean, all the Vinces in the world, or all the agents or producers or whatever, they can't do much about it once you're already out there. And that's what you want these guys to do. Hey, ad lib a little bit, try some things. And Dustin was brave enough and willing to try some things. And luckily for him and us at that time, it worked.
The character debuts on a vignette that airs on April 14th, 1995 on Monday Night Raw. We would see Goldust rocking the wig. He's got the gold face and the black lips. He's wearing a gold jacket and a bow tie. He doesn't have gloves. He's standing in Hollywood in front of Warner Brothers, and he's quoting Marilyn Monroe, and he's talking about when I defeat your champion Diesel, and he's whispering, and he does the big breath and the bite and the whisper, Goldust, just great stuff. But Meltzer was a little confused by it. He wrote, Rhodes debuted doing a transvestite gimmick on the Raw show, doing kind of a Marilyn Monroe look with lipstick, makeup, feminine voice, etc. This gimmick could very conceivably be a career killer. It was a well-produced, that's all I can say good about it. Transvestite gimmicks are nothing new in wrestling and are almost commonplace in Mexico. I can see that may click if Rhodes works the gimmick, so that way may well be what people accept him as doing rather than a good job. But I'd say the odds are about 90% of it going to severely hamper the long-term career of Rhodes, which is a shame because it isn't like the US has produced many quality younger wrestlers. I guess Dusty really made a lot of people hot when he had power. I just think that's amazing that, listen, Dave gets it right a lot of times. He was saying in like 92, Steve Austin is going to be one of the top stars in the business. He's the next Ric Flair in the industry. He was saying that in like 91 or 92. But here to say this is going to kill his career, I would argue the Goldust character made his career, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, without a doubt. You know, was he a transvestite? I don't know.
No, of course not. They've just assumed. That was never said. No.
Yeah, I agree. I never said it.
No.